guys, Vega here. Are you looking for the Smite steal? Just hold on a second.
Hey guys, it's Saz, and welcome to the Smite Steal, a weekly show where we're going to go over standings, matches of the week, players of the week, games to look out for, and a couple of extra things. With me today we have Vega and Sol. Welcome guys.
What's up?
Hey, everybody.
How are you guys doing today? Have a good week? Exciting week?
You know, an 0-2 week on top of another 0-2 week. So, yeah, exciting.
2-0 week on top of another 2-0 week. So, very happy.
So to put it in perspective, Vega is the coach for Anion Esports on Group B, and Sol the jungler for Velocity Esports on Group A. So pretty much matched here. Moving on to the standings, after week 2 we had a lot of fun games. So for Group A, we have AED on top with 4 wins, 0 losses, still undefeated. JO3 and SOS right behind with 3 wins each, 1 loss. Team Galactic 1 lose lane win game, managed to get a game, but they have 3 losses as well. And Velocity still waiting for their win. Over on Group B, we have Anion Esports also undefeated on 4 wins, followed by Space Boys with 3 wins and 1 loss. Abyssal Asphalt 2-2, and Sister Kisser tied with them in 2-2. Tempo Shift with only 1 win and 3 losses, and Broy Ping still trying to get their first win.
Yeah, tough week for some of the players on Group A, specifically me. Yeah, do we want to talk about some games of the week right now?
Yeah, let's move on to Game of the Week already. Get it off the ground here. What did you guys both think of this week?
I thought it was super spicy. I thought like some of the bottom teams that I thought were like pretty weak, like kind of showed up against teams I expected them to get, for lack of better words, get beaten pretty soundly by. Specifically, like looking at Group A, I thought Velocity played really well in some of their losses. Maybe Sans the last one. Against the Solo Lux count, no offense. But yeah, like the one that really stands out to me was the SOS versus Joe Esports game. It was an absolute slugfest between 2 teams that were sitting at the top. I think at the time SOS was 3-0 and Joe Esports was 2-1. And Joe Esports' only loss was to AED, who's the top team in the group. And Joe Esports went down 8K in that game and managed to claw back with a hyper-fed Corki and ended up winning the game around like 45 minutes. It was an absolute banger to cast. It was a ton of fun. Shout outs to both the teams. Now they both sit at 3-1, so it's like a maw at the top. So Group A is a little bit of a mess, but they have a clear divide, I think, between the playoff teams right now and the non-playoff teams. But there's no reason to think like other teams can't claw up, right? Like lose lane win game, Velocity, pretty much everybody in that group I think is capable of taking games off each other. And I think you can tell each week they're getting better, right? Like the bottom teams look significantly better in week 2 than they did in week 1. AD did look like a class above, I think, everybody else in the group, but they're getting practice against AED, right? Like AED is not getting the same kind of practice playing their games, so you expect teams like SOS and JO3 to hopefully start to bridge that gap between the top spot. So yeah, pretty exciting week in Group A.
Yeah, and we're not even halfway through the split already, so still a lot to go on. And Saul, on your side, you've played those games. Is Group A, from what it seems to me that all the teams are like really fighting for it. We're not seeing that many stomps on that side compared to Group B, and so it looks pretty tight, right?
Yeah, from my side, I thought that there was like Vega said, there's a little bit of a divide where you can see like the which teams are clearly rising to the top and the other ones kind of falling to the bottom. But at the same time, they're looking good. If there's going to be opportunities for these bottom teams to play each other and see if they can claw their way into the bottom of the into the tournament standings. And I'm really hoping that we can see some pretty good upsets. And as a Patriots fan, as you guys see, I don't know if all you guys know, when you're down in the 4th quarter, 3rd and long, dude, there's always hope, man. So like to all those teams out there, do not sweat. I'm one of you, so we'll see. I think there's definitely going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot more. The group's going to get shaken up, you might say. So, yeah.
You clearly are one of them since you are still without a win. But moving on to Group B, however, what do you think? What was the best game of the week?
I got to put my money on Broy Ping versus Sister Kissers. There's a complete smash in the top lane. Deep Eddie just taking Broy Ping to the top right in the beginning of the game. And Sister's Kissers slowly getting back. They had the Vladimir, they had the Akali, and they had the healing bot lane. and they were able to win fights and claw their way back to the top. It was just really hard for the Mordekaiser to get a good positioning where he could grab the Akali. There's a lot of fights where it ended up, not going their way just because of one ability. The Jarvan just causing so much space, taking up so much space with the ultimate, with the EQ, flag and drag. That was impressive. Really good comeback from Sister Kissers, just waiting out the mid game, waiting for that Vlad to come online, waiting for the Akali to just annihilate the back line. The healing comp, it was just too much for a bro I pinged. And so, and big shout outs to both teams. Really good game, really good early smash from bro I pinged, looking really good. I'm hoping they can, get back just like us, get a win. And big shout out to Sister Kissers for keeping it together throughout the game, and coming out on top.
Right. And honestly, we've seen it. Week 1 was really one-sided, a lot of the games for Group B, but we can see the improvement really fast. People fighting back, right? Teams trying to improve and succeeding at it, really drafting better as well. We've been seeing massive improvements on all sides. With that all said, though, Week 2 was insane. Who were the players of the week for you guys?
For me in Group A, I went with Yuzval, who's the top laner for AED. The guy's an absolute monster tank player, and I think something you don't see a lot in especially these I'm gonna say low elo, plat gold tournaments, stuff like that, is top laners who are willing to play weak side and are okay with that role, because it's so important in the meta right now that you have a top laner who's okay with playing team fighters and okay with being the weak side while your team plays around bot lane and dragon control and stuff like that. And he epitomizes that role, right? He's unselfish. He plays engaged tanks. He plays off stuff in the side lane. He does not get a lot of jungle pressure. He actually has one of the lowest jungle proximities of any top laner in the tournament right now. And he very rarely gets any solo kills against him in lane, very rarely gives up any gold or even pressure in his lane, even when he is getting ganked. So for me, he's my player of the week, an absolute stud in the top lane. AED's lucky to have him.
I truly am. And on Group B, Sol, who do you think?
I got to go with Medium Baller, the mid laner for Sister Kissers. Going into this tournament, I heard he was just a beast of an assassin player, and that really just came out in the game against Roy Pinged. He had a lead in the mid lane, and he stuck with it. And with the healing comp and the Vlad, he just absolutely shit on the back line of the Bro Pinged and took them to the top. A lot of people think that assassins can't have that much, pressure in the game, and he clearly showed that, his Akali is just absolutely filthy. Even though they wasted 3 bans on him, still managed to carry the game. So, yeah, medium baller or Baylor, whatever.
He's a baller.
He is a baller. Not even a medium baller, probably high baller. You know what I'm saying?
Upper high tier baller.
There you go.
Absolutely, and we're gonna look forward for these players and all other players that want to get up there. There's a lot of possibilities. The games are getting tight, and we're onto the second round robin, right? So people are gonna start replaying the same teams that they've played before. We're gonna see a lot of that adaptation that we currently see in other leagues, where you go into a game, you prepare a draft, and then it turns out they had something completely new prepped. And now you go into the second round robin where maybe you have something prepped where you expect a bit more, how they play. Because we all know scrim's not the same thing as games, right? The whole atmosphere changes, the whole posture of everything changes. So we're seeing a lot of improvement, and we're glad for it. And so with that being said, let's head off into the next week, Week 3. What do you guys think? Games to look out for? What are we looking at?
I gotta go with the top of Group A, man. SOS versus AED. I think that's an absolute stud of a game, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why this game is sneakily super good. For one, AED's 4-0 and they've pretty much stomped everybody they've played, and it looks like AED's far and away the best team. But SOS's only loss was a game where they were ahead 8K. And I don't think a team that's good enough to get ahead 8K, that consistently is that far below AED, right? I think if SOS made the mistakes they made in that game, they're going to learn from their loss to Joe, right? They're going to look at that game and say, we were in a position to win this game 100% and we messed it up and lost. We won't do that again. So I think the 2 best teams in Group A in the early game, they have the highest goal differences at 15 minutes of any teams in the game. And I absolutely am thrilled to see the two of them go head to head at the end of the first round robin. We're so lucky that that's the 5th game of the first round robin, as we have like 2 stacked teams.
Right.
Yeah, I'm hyped about it. I can't wait to see it.
What about you, Saul? What about in Group B?
Like Vega, I gotta put my money on the top 2 teams, Anion and Space Boys. Anion, like AED, absolutely smashing. Props to Vega, obviously, because big.
That's top lane in the league. Top lane sub.
No, but really, Space Boys, we've seen a ton of improvements since week 1. In their 4 games, they've definitely got consistently better, and I think that Anion does have the top spot right now, but it's by 1 game, and I've seen Space Boys play insanely well. I'm really hoping to see some star players, some star picks coming out from there. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, and I want to just give a quick shout out. We've mentioned, the top 2 teams on each side, but there's also TG1 against Velocity. Both of these teams are currently struggling, but coming into this tournament, they were prospect teams to go playoffs and make it very far into the tournament. So keep an eye out, because every single game can be a turning moment in this league.
Yeah.
With that being said, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, the teams that are in playoff position now, like Group B, there's 2 teams tied for a playoff position with 2 wins. That's 1 2-0 week from a team, and you're jockeying for playoff position. Like, it doesn't take much for a team to just all of a sudden hit a hot streak, a good patch, stuff like that. Speaking of, if I'm not mistaken, Gus, Yone is enabled starting this week.
He is enabled starting. When was he released? I think he was
Wednesday the 5th. Wednesday the 5th.
The 5th. All right,
that's tomorrow, right? Wait, no.
2 days from now.
That should be in 2 days. So the 19th.
1 day from when this video comes out.
Exactly. So tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yone will be available for all teams that want to play it. I hope you guys got some practice in, or prep some bans or drafts around it, because he's coming in hot. He's a fun champion.
Yeah.
Yone jungle incoming.
No,
If
that's
you don't
not
pick
happening here.
Saul, I want to see you on the Yone pick. With that being said, any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
No, just thanks to everybody who's watching, who's been playing in the tournament. It's been a ton of fun casting, coaching, just meeting all the teams, stuff like that. The community's really grown. We're super happy with it 2 weeks in. So we'll let you guys know we're constantly working to improve. We've got new overlays coming. We've got new video content coming. All kinds. I stole Soul's thing. He made all this beautiful video content and has made all these new overlays for us. So all the props to him. If you see Soul, please give him all the credit in the world. I pretty much just say, I would like for it to look like this. And he goes and does all the work and makes it actually happen. But yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks a ton for everything. And all the teams have been super nice, too, about scrims and stuff. So thanks to everybody for being just like an inclusive community and making it easy for people to come in and play and things like that. Yeah, that's all from me.
Yeah, and for me, I would just like to say, thanks everybody. Great job, week 2. Yeah, we're coming out with new overlays. Vega, steal my shit. But one other thing that I want to say is that we're hoping to run this again. This is not just the only time we're going to do the AED Invitational. So if you're interested, if you want to advertise this to your friends, to your family members, whoever else plays League of Legends, get them on this, because we want to grow this company, grow this community, right? And hopefully, next season, season 2, it's going to be even more rocking than this. So, Saz, you want to take it out?
Yeah, so also this little show here, Smite Steal, it's going to come out weekly. We're going to try to do it, and a lot of other new media ideas. So if you also have any ideas, hit us up, let the admins know. Just honestly talk to us as if we were friends, because that's what we are.
That's fact.
With that being said, thank you for watching Smite Steal, and we'll see you guys next week.
Cool. Peace out.